What's the feedback that you're picking up from the troops that you earlier commanded? Because I'm sure you're in touch with people who are still in the SFF about the role that the Special Frontier Force played in going up, occupying the commanding heights of Blacktop, and the kind of advantage that the SFF have now landed India in. Obviously, we can see how hassled and rattled the Chinese are by the fact that the Indian army is now going and dominating their Moldo garrison, which we can see, and we can interdict any movement at any time we want.
Rahul, I think it was a very smart move, very well executed. Some details I know, I would not like to go into those details. But let me say that these people who are experts in mountaineering, high altitude warfare, guerrilla warfare, they saw an opportunity and immediately went and occupied an extremely important ridgeline. And where, as you very rightly mentioned, Moldo is visible, the build-up of their tanks and vehicles and so on is there, and we've definitely gained a huge tactical advantage. But I would look at it this way, Rahul, if we have a little time, that, you know, what has really happened is that the Chinese have, in a very cunning maneuver, put in their troops there and occupied certain portions which belong to us across the LAC. And this meeting of the two forces and trying to get them back, that is between the brigade commanders and the generals and the corps commanders and so on, is all right for a short time to make sure that clashes do not take place. But we have to think of an overall strategy. We can't keep on carrying on like this, that every second day they come and occupy some portion of ours, and then they say that we will mutually withdraw. Withdraw to what? They've got to get back to the April positions first before we can have a talk. But I would rather say that we must look at the overall picture, step back from the canvas, and decide how to deal with this belligerent neighbor who does not spare anybody. They've had issues with Russia, the old communist ally. They've had issues with Vietnam. They've had issues with Japan, Taiwan, South China Sea, Malacca Straits, Indian Ocean, Straits of Hormuz, name it. So in my view, first of all, we must get hold of the diplomatic angle, the political angle, the trade angle, the economic angle.
Okay.
And then
Colonel Ajay Shukla is back with us. Colonel Shukla, first, do you hear me now?
I hear you, Rahul.
Okay.
I hear you.
Finally, great. So, you've been tracking this crisis very, very closely. If you were asked at this time, given what happened last night, the fact that shots were fired for the first time in 45 years along the line of actual control, are you fearing that the manner in which this crisis is spiraling and continuing, India and China inevitably heading towards conflict and war?
Rahul, there is very little doubt about that. The way that this conflict and this confrontation is shaping up is one where the two sides are in direct contact with one another. Both are aggressive, both are hungry, both are unwilling to back off. Both sides are sort of sticking to their positions. There seems to be no political guidance on the Chinese side to back off or to agree to a sort of disengagement that will be acceptable to India. And in the circumstances, the Indian army, which is a lean, mean, hungry, aggressive army, as good as the best of them, has little choice but to stick to its positions, to advance its positions, to prevent the Chinese from occupying heights of advantage. And that is what we are seeing playing out on the ground every day.